Okay, now it is my pleasure to introduce one of our founders of New North, a terrific leader, business leader in our region, a great visionary, and a friend to so many of us in this room. Please join me in welcoming Tom Wilsius to the stage to share with you some very exciting news.
Good afternoon, everybody. I had to check my watch briefly. We've heard a lot of interesting things about talent attraction, talent development, and talent retention. We heard about the value of organizational culture, organizational purpose, and organizational engagement. All of those things are either affected by or sustained by leadership. And I'm pleased to share with you, it's kind of a reveal today, the establishment of the Center for Exceptional Leadership, which will be housed at St. Norbert's College. This goes back to some work that was done through the New North in 2008. We were privileged to do some survey work with over 250 CEOs in our region, and through that came to the recognition that something significant needed to be done in the area of leadership development. We reviewed all of the best practices that we could identify in leader development, and we began to formulate a plan on going forward. In 2014, Tom Kunkel committed to an idea that he and I had discussed many years earlier, and that was the formation of a leadership institute that would allow those best practices to be housed in a place that would be accessible to all of the employers throughout our region. In 2015, we established an advisory board, and soon thereafter began attracting individuals to this concept that was meant to be able to put together best practices in a way that could be segmented so that employers could use what they needed to develop either their emerging talent or their senior talent that were involved in leadership levels. The first thing I'd like to do is thank the members of the people who served as the advisory board. And if we go to the next slide, you'll see them. Many of them are here today in the room. Some of them will be known by the hat that they wear. We also needed to seek investors that would be able to help us build a runway so that we were not trying to do something, build it as they fly it. We wanted to be able to do something that would be on the onset, in place, proven, and capable of responding to organizational needs. I'd like to also recognize those organizations that were the investors to help us get this initiative up and going. One of the things that I thought was really important was assembling a small group of individuals that would come together and help really shepherd the concept into the reality of design and then application. I asked about 15 individuals to join me in trying to do this. They in turn turned around and asked 40 others to join with them. So we ended up having nearly 60 business executives, from CEOs through HROD leaders, very experienced individuals, come together to design and then name what we call the Center for Exceptional Leadership. Again, some of them you'll notice today is either they're wearing their hats or they have their hats at the table, and I want to be able to call them out and thank them very specifically. So just if they're here now, with those people that served either on the advisory board or part of the design committees that we established, please stand up and be recognized by all the rest of us that are in the room. This is no mean task to organize something, and I really want to specifically call out a couple of individuals who did exceptional work as volunteers. All of us have been volunteers in this journey, together. I want to call out Nicole Gear of Foth and Angela Creel from Thrivent, and if he's here, Pete Heline from Goodwill Industry. They went above and beyond what was expected of volunteers to be able to help shape and develop what we will have beginning today. This is going to be a lean but continuous improvement operation. We have a small staff to begin with. I'm on that staff as a volunteer. Kevin Quinn, the Dean of the School of Business and Economics at St. Norbert College, serves to shepherd us as we begin to try and marry what works in business and industry with what is required in colleges and universities. Angela Marshallek has been hired as a Director of Services, and she's moving us from the design framework into the reality of bringing out those best practices in the form of curriculum. And Anna Mano is her assistant in this particular process. The rest of who's going to come to the table are represented by people like you who are out there now. People who have experience, who have content expertise, and have a desire to make sure that good leaders can become great leaders. I particularly want to thank Tom Kunkel. Tom, where are you here today? I know you're with us today. I particularly want to thank Tom Kunkel for all of his contributions, his acceptance of the Center for Exceptional Leadership onto campus and providing space for us to work and resources for us to play with. Some of you may know that Tom's been with us for 8 years and has recently given his notice that he's going to enjoy his grandchildren and the southern part of Indiana a lot more in the future days than he has over the last 8 years. So particularly I would like to call out Tom and ask all of us to thank him for the contributions, not just for the Center for Exceptional Leadership, but for all the work he's done throughout the New North over the last 8 years. Okay. With that, I would invite all of you to make sure that before you leave today, get a hold of the brochure. It outlines the options, the resources, the price structure, and everything that's available for this new Center of Exceptional Leadership for our area. Thank you very much.